Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Treadripperz here, back with another video. So behind me, we have the old Dodge here, you know, the one we did the taillights on. Taillights still work amazing, still look amazing when they're clean. They're a little dirty here, but we're not gonna worry about that. That is not what we're here for today. So today, on this 2010 Dodge Ram 1500 Laramie, gotta add that in there, we're gonna be changing the fuel pump, because we came to a little problem here, but today we have other issues with it, and those issues would sound just about like this. So we've come to the diagnosis that the fuel pump is out. So we're gonna go ahead, and mostly all the videos you see that people don't have a lift, and they normally take the whole bed off and all that, we're gonna try to do it a different way, you know, try to see if it works out a little bit better. So the truck is quite a bit elevated off the ground here, at least 2.5 to 3 foot off the ground, so that should be plenty of clearance to be able to take this fuel tank out and be able to get to the fuel pump. So just a quick little not disclaimer, but a little information pitch here. So whenever you're working on stuff that you have to lift in the air, it's always great to make sure you're safe with it, whether that be jack stands, ramps, another person holding it up, it's fine, one of those. But so in our case, we got some ramps, because here's the jack here on the differential. So we got ramp there, just to make sure that if the jack gives out, there's something there to catch the truck besides my face. Because that would not be good, because then I can't make content for you guys. So we'd like to stay safe around here. So let's get to showing you all what has to come off of this fuel tank to get to the fuel pump to drop the fuel tank. So let's get into it.
All right, fellas, so this is built-in style here, our dad, if you will. I'm gonna help him out, but put that on there tight. We're gonna screw this battery, get this thing off here, just so we don't have any sparks. You don't want any unwanted problems when you're dealing with fuel. You also don't want to use a light connected to electricity when you're dealing with fuel. Any kind of light you use, make sure it's a sealed bulb, battery powered. You don't want any fuel dropping on it, causing an explosion. That's undone. Let's get back underneath with Treadripperz.
All right, guys, so now that the battery is unhooked, this is going to be your filler neck right here. So it's just held on by a band clamp. That's the top of it's way up here, so it's gonna be very hard to like guesstimate what it is. It's on this side too, so we're gonna guess around with that, and then I'll let you know what that is. So there's gonna be 2 bands here also that are holding on the tank. One here, one there, held on just by those little bolts way up there, and one right here. And then, all right, so on top of the fuel tank, there's gonna be 2 connections. One is electrical and one is a fuel connection. Both quick connections. One you pull the little red tab, one you just push in and pull out, and boom, it's done. But so you're gonna disconnect those, and then the tank should be free enough to drop down. Now, with these bands, you are gonna have to bend them just a little bit, which is fine. You'll screw them back down, they'll go right back at the same spot, so you're not gonna damage or hurt them. But we're gonna get to taking this apart and take you all along for the ride.
One of those chairs that Goon Squad has would be very nice right now.
Yes, it would.
All right, guys, so the correct size is gonna be a 9/32. So you're gonna have to go way up here next to your fender to get it on it. But this is hard to do one-handed, so we're just gonna take it off. All right, guys, so we got the filler neck disconnected. And when we put it back on, we're gonna put that band clamp down this way, just in case we ever have to take it back off. It'll be a lot easier to get to. But so now we're gonna start undoing straps, harnesses, and lines. So let's get to it. All right, so we decided to take the fender liner off just so we could get to all these, just be able to disconnect them. We're gonna disconnect all these, and we're gonna go finish getting the tank out. All right, so now all these are disconnected. So this one has this little green retaining clip. So what you have to do is you have to push it in and then work this little black piece off at the same time, and then it'll finally drop off. And this just stays on there. that's disconnected there. So you just took that out of the way. Of course, filler neck is disconnected as well. So this ground wire is routed with this part of the connection. This part's going to stay connected to the truck, and then it's just down there. So we're not worried about that. We're just going to leave that there, and then pull the rest of this out and hopefully drop that tank down. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So the socket to take the bands off is going to be a 5/8. Also, whenever you're taking these bands off, you want to take one at a time, but you don't want to take it all the way off. So you're going to loosen one up till it's almost off, and then you're going to go loosen the other one up. That way the tank will drop down at the same time, allowing for your hand to have more moment and more room underneath, on top of the fuel tank. That way you can get all your connections unplugged. Okay, that one's good enough. Oh, come here, Bessie. Just a little wobbly.
Not too much.
Uh-oh. Too much. Hey.
Hot.
Yeah. Very hot.
You understand that thing spins really, really fast?
I know, it just built up a lot of friction. I figured it was going to be hot before I grabbed it, but you know what I still did?
You grabbed it.
I still grabbed it. Alright, so there's one more plug that's right here, right where my finger is. It's underneath this shield right here at the back of the tank. So y'all can see that better. So yeah, there's the plug right there. It looks to be, we're just going to squeeze it from the sides and get it out. We're going to try that. Let's try to get this plug off. Alright guys, so we got the plug out. Now on the side, or on the, so it sits in here like this right here. So don't push the big piece here, that's what's holding it on. Definitely push this little piece right here like that, and it'll release and you can pull it right back out. And you won't have to fight with it or struggle with it like I just did, but the more you know. Alright guys, so we got the tank out now, finally, after struggling for forever, it felt like. So, gas line's disconnected, electrical's disconnected. We forgot to disconnect this one, but it was a little loose, so it was fine. So we went ahead and disconnected that one when the tank got lowered a little bit. All three of these are right there from the filler neck that we saw in the beginning. And here's where that plug sits that you have to disconnect. So it's right underneath this shield right there. But so we're gonna get washed up real quick because I'm a little dirty here on dirty jobs, and run to town and go get the new fuel pump, take this one out, put the new one in, and hopefully put it back underneath there and the truck will start. That's the game plan. It's 304.29. Yes, sir.
You gotta be smarter than the boxes.
If I can work the cardboard, that'd be great. This should be the beast right there. I'm gonna pull it up out of this. Yeah.
That should be her right there.
Yep. Be careful when you put it back.
Alright guys, so we're back to the house now. We're gonna go ahead and brush and vacuum the top of this off, the top of the fuel pump here off, just so that no debris gets down into the gas can while we are taking all this apart. So let's get to vacuuming. Alright, so now we went ahead and got our punch here. So your punch is going to go in these little grooves right here. But you want to make sure when you're hitting it that these is going to rotate to where these can become free now. That way this little metal ring can lift up from the outside. We're just going to... Just going to work it a little bit, and then it'll finally pop all the way off. All right, so now we're just gonna work it around all this, pop it back off, set that to the side. Now we're gonna hit this with a vacuum and the brush one more time, just so we make sure we get everything so nothing goes down into the fuel tank. All right, so that should be good. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna lift this, start lifting this out, just like that. Dumping our excess fuel that's in our cup down there back on into the tank so we don't lose as much fuel as we can save as much fuel as we need. Careful to maybe go around that float right there. Boom. So there's the old fuel pump here. No idea what went wrong with it, but we have a new one over there. So you're also going to take this O-ring off very carefully. It's got a ton of dirt on it. Perfect. Now, just because it's off, go ahead and hit it with a vacuum one more time. Just clean up this little bit right here. So we should be okay to start putting the new one on. Alright, so we went ahead and got the precision fuel pump. That's supposed to be the replacement for the OEM. So hopefully it holds up as well as the OEM did. So, got your instructions. Got your O-ring, your new O-ring. Then you have the monstrosity here. And that would be her. So now we're just gonna put this back where it was after we put the O-ring in, drop it back down, butt it all up, put the ring back on it. We should be good to go to start reinstalling this little process. Alright, so this little tab was right in this gap right here when we took it off, so that's exactly how we're going to put it back in there. So we're going to fish the float back in there. Put this in very carefully. Push the springs down as soon as we put the ring back on it. Alright, then you're gonna grab your punch again, because it's just on there to hold it right now. And we're just gonna hit it the opposite way to let it seat back on there all the way. And the new fuel pump will be in the fuel tank. And now the little metal ring around it is fully seated on it. Now it's ready to go back underneath the truck. All right, so before we go ahead and put the fuel tank back underneath the truck, go in there when it's exposed and kind of show y'all everything, show y'all all the wires, all the plugs, and the best way to get to them and the best way to unconnect them. So let's get underneath there. So these right here, this one and this one, are the two connections that go on top of the fuel pump. So this little connection here, you push this down, so there's this little ring right here. You just push this down and these little ends will flare out on you. So you push it down, push it in, and then push it out, or pull it out, and then that'll disconnect. Now this is the electrical side of it. See the plug. Now there's a little red safety right here that goes right here, and you pull it out this side right here. So where you pull it this side right here, then here's the push pin right here that you just push this down, pull it out. That's disconnected. Here is the plug that goes on the side of the fuel tank right here, and then once again you just push it right here on the top right there, closer to the wires. Push that, pull it out, it's gone. There's this one in the front. This is the front connection that we forgot to unconnect but ended up unconnecting. So this is the same one as on top of the fuel pump right here. So you just push this top piece down, push in, pull out, and that one disconnects as well. And that was all of the plugs and everything that we had to unplug to take the fuel tank out. Now I will say that the fuel pump install is simple and it takes no time at all. Getting the fuel tank out and dropping it down and figuring out how to drop it down, that's what's going to take the longest part, because if you have half a tank like I did, it's a little heavy and makes it a little inconvenient. So I would definitely recommend either draining your tank or just running your tank out if you have that opportunity. But you can also drop it down pretty low in here in the front and in the back without any of your wires being pinched or getting pulled too hard or whatever. So you have a good bit of clearance where you can drop it down, kind of put your hand on top of it and be able to see all these a lot better. So that's something that we just had to try and true test out right there. But that's pretty much gonna be that for that, guys. So we're gonna go ahead, slide this back underneath the truck, plug it all back in, which hopefully that shouldn't take too long. And then we're gonna go see if that bad boy will crank up. All right, so we went ahead and put the strap back underneath the front of it right here. So we took it down by letting the front down just like this. So we're gonna go ahead and pick it back up exactly how we took it down, just to, maybe that'll make it a little bit easier on us to put it back in. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so here's the strap right here. The fuel tank's almost back up there. This is where the strap that holds it to the truck goes. We've got the jack underneath it right there. We're about to put the little red safety back into the plug so we can plug that back up and lock it back in. Actually, the plug's right there. How convenient. And then all of our lines right here are almost back to where they need to be. So we're almost wrapped up here, guys. So enjoy a little time lapse. All right, guys, so everything underneath is all connected up. This is the first one. This is the one we forgot to do, but then did it at the end. You see it can pop out of here, so you have a lot of slack with it. Moving down, we got the straps back tightened down. Straps back tightened down. Here's our back. The back one is back connected. Let's see. Go this side probably. And there is all the wires going to the new fuel pump, and they're all connected up. Going right there, right back here. Here's our electrical wire there. The other one right here is our gas line. So all those are connected up. So all we have left to do right now is tie up all our hoses right here at the filler neck, put the fender liner back in, and give this bad boy a crank.
Yeah, gently.
Alright guys, so everything is back completed. The battery's back on the truck. So now, the only thing that's left to do now is to get it in, fire it up, and see if it'll crank up.
Hopefully, it'll crank up.
Definitely got fingers crossed on this one. We got fuel pressure. I mean, our tack went back up, so that's okay.
You should have started. Try it one more time, but don't let it go too far.
Where's my top? Oh, because you took the feet out. That's why I wouldn't start.
Dad's got jokes, doesn't he? Hopefully it starts after this.
If it doesn't, you're fired. Give me that.
Rope start.
I don't know if it's one is down. Lean out.
Hey, it's running.
Finally, after technical difficulties,
Dad's got jokes.
so now this thing is ready to move on its own power, and probably about 2 weeks. It's been down for about 2 weeks, so very happy about that. So lovely. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap up the install for this video. Luckily, it all turned out in our favor, and everything worked out like it was supposed to. What you heard up front was an exhaust leak. If you have a 5.7 Hemi, you know they're notorious for exhaust leaks, so just something you got to deal with. That's on the planner to get fixed next. But I think it was a pretty good install. Very dirty install. Gotta love the dirtiness. But that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Make sure you leave a like if this was a helpful video for you. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm always down to answer comments. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I mean, we got new content coming out, so hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell button, because you would get notified whenever I post, not update. I almost said update. You get notified when I post, not update. But that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. So this has been your boy Treadripperz, and we're gonna tear out of here. Do I need to kill it to do an outro, or just do it with the